What if one of the most legendary names in American muscle car history never actually died, but came roaring back from the dead in 2027? And welcome back to Prime Car Culture, the home of muscle car storytelling and automotive imagination. Because today we are stepping into pure imagination and building a concept that fans have been begging General Motors to build for over a decade. A fictional, speculative, entirely unofficial, fan-driven reimagining of what a 2027 Pontiac Firebird could look like if the brand ever truly rose from the ashes like the phoenix it was always proudly named after. So before we go any further, let us be completely upfront with you. Pontiac was discontinued back in 2010, and there is no confirmed, official 2027 Firebird coming from General Motors. Everything you are about to see and hear is a concept interpretation, a love letter built from design speculation and pure automotive dreaming, not a real production vehicle. But that is exactly what makes this so much fun, because sometimes the best automotive content lives entirely in the space of what could have been. So sit back, turn up the volume, grab something to drink, subscribe if you love American muscle, and let us walk through every single inch of this imagined machine as if it just rolled off an unofficial concept stage somewhere in Detroit, starting right here at the face of the beast, because this front grille design would need to scream aggression the moment it is spotted in a rear view mirror, wide, low, and split down the middle with sharp horizontal slats stretching almost the full width of the fascia that echo the Firebird's muscle car roots, while still feeling like it belongs firmly in the modern era. The kind of grille finished in dark chrome accents that makes other cars on the road quietly move out of the fast lane without even needing to be asked twice. Now shift your eyes upward to where the headlights would sit. Slim, razor-edge clusters that taper backward into the fender like blades. A modern take on the classic quad lamp Firebird look, but sharpened and stretched for a 2027 street presence, glowing with a cold, white intensity that cuts clean through fog, rain, and darkness alike on a late-night backroad drive. The kind of glow that announces arrival long before the car is even close. And just beneath them, imagine a thin ribbon of daytime running lights, a signature glow that would instantly identify this car from a block away in any parking lot, pulsing subtly on startup like the Phoenix itself is waking from a long sleep. A small design touch that speaks volumes about identity before the engine even makes a single sound. Then let your gaze drop down to the wheels, because on a car like this, the wheels are never an afterthought. Envision a set of forged alloy wheels, multi-spoke, gunmetal finish, wrapped in low-profile performance rubber that hugs the corners like they were sculpted specifically for this exact chassis. Wheels that look just as good sitting still in a driveway on a quiet Sunday morning, catching low-angle sunlight off every spoke, as they do blurring past at triple-digit speeds down an open highway. And right beside them, a flush-mounted door handle, minimal, aerodynamic, almost invisible, until your fingers find it, and it presents itself with a soft mechanical motion. The kind of detail that modern muscle car concepts are leaning into more and more, because clean lines sell speed even when the car is sitting perfectly still and parked, moving along the sculpted body line. Picture a pair of sharply angled side mirrors, compact, wind tunnel shaped, finished in gloss black to contrast sharply against a bold body color. Mirrors that whisper rather than shout but still manage to look purposeful and race-bred from every single angle you approach them from. Almost like they were pulled straight off a track car. And now let us swing around to the rear, because this is where a lot of muscle cars either win or lose their entire identity. Imagine a full-width taillight bar, thin, glowing red, connecting from corner to corner like one unbroken signature stretched across the trunk. A modern nod to the Firebird badge without directly copying anything from the past decades. Sequential brake lighting sweeping inward with authority every single time the brakes are tapped on a winding canyon road. A small theatrical touch that turns every stop into a statement. And directly beneath that dramatic light bar, a set of quad exhaust tips, dark chrome, aggressively sized, hinting at a V8 soul even before the engine ever fires up for the first time. The kind of exhaust setup that would make heads turn in a parking lot before the car even moves a single inch forward. And right there on the trunk lid, centered perfectly beneath the light bar, imagine the emblem, a bold, sculpted phoenix badge, wings spread wide, catching light from every single angle in the sun, a symbol that instantly tells everyone exactly what car they are looking at without a single word ever needing to be spoken. A badge with decades of proud heritage packed into one small sculpted shape. Now let us step inside, because this concept would not just be about looking fast from the outside, it would be about feeling like a command center every single time the door swings open and you drop into the seat. Picture a dashboard that wraps around the driver in a tight cockpit-style layout, dark textured surfaces contrasted sharply with brushed metal trim running across the vents, angular but strangely inviting, built to feel driver-focused rather than passenger-focused in every possible way, from the angle of the vents down to the placement of every single switch within reach. And right at the center of that dashboard, imagine a thick, flat-bottomed steering wheel, wrapped in perforated leather for grip. paddle shifters mounted right behind it within easy reach, buttons positioned exactly where your thumbs naturally rest without ever needing to look down, a wheel that feels like it belongs strapped into something built purely for speed rather than daily errands, weighted just enough to feel serious in the hands, and directly behind that wheel, a fully digital instrument cluster, sharp, crisp, fully customizable, switching seamlessly between a classic analog-style display for nostalgia and a full digital race mode readout, depending entirely on the driver's mood that day. And just beside it, mounted slightly toward the driver for easy access, imagine a floating infotainment screen, vibrant, high-resolution, running a sleek, dark-themed interface that feels more like a fighter jet display than a typical family sedan setup, glowing softly against the black interior once the sun goes down, then dropping down toward the center console. Picture a raised, driver-focused layout wrapped entirely in soft touch material with contrast stitching running along every single seam. Drive mode selectors, launch control toggles, and a compact but purposeful button layout that puts total control directly under the driver's fingertips at all times. And right beside it, a short throw gear shifter, weighted mechanical feeling in the hand, topped with a brushed metal cap that catches the light every single time it moves cleanly through the gears. A piece that feels far more like a piece of precision engineering than a simple piece of furniture, satisfying with every single click through the gate. Now imagine sliding into the front seats, deeply bolstered on both sides, wrapped in a mix of leather and suede-inspired material for grip, aggressive side support built specifically for hard cornering, with the Phoenix emblem subtly and beautifully stitched right into the headrest itself, seats that hold your entire body in place the moment the car leans hard into a corner at speed, refusing to let you slide even under hard braking. And as night falls over the city, imagine the cabin transforming entirely into something else, a soft ambient lighting system washing the interior in fully customizable color tones. Red for pure aggression, blue for calm cruising, purple for something in between the two, tracing gently along the dash, the doors, and the footwells like the entire cabin is quietly breathing along with the engine underneath the hood. And above all of that, picture a massive panoramic sunroof sliding open with a smooth, near-silent mechanical hum, flooding the entire cabin with either warm sunlight during the day or a wide-open view of the stars at night, turning every single drive into something a little more cinematic than the last. Whether it is a quick errand or a late-night highway run, and back down at the doors themselves, imagine premium door panels finished entirely in soft leather, precise contrast stitching running in perfectly parallel lines from front to back, brushed metal accents lining the armrest, every single surface designed to feel genuinely expensive under your fingertips, from the door pulls down to the smallest trim piece, because a real muscle car concept never forgets that comfort and aggression can absolutely coexist within the very same cabin. And now, because this is imagined as a proper performance machine and not just a simple styling exercise on paper, let us pop the hood and take a proper look underneath. Because a car wearing a Firebird badge would always have to back up its looks with real, honest power, picture the engine bay opened up wide beneath a raised carbon fiber hood, a supercharged V8 sitting front and center of the entire bay, wrapped in a bold engine cover finished in matte black with a small Phoenix badge stamped proudly right into the plastic housing, thick cooling lines snaking carefully around a compact, tightly packaged bay, braided hoses running alongside polished piping, all of it built for both serious heat management and raw straight-line performance. And moving in closer for a tighter look, imagine the engine itself, an aggressive intake manifold, polished valve covers catching every bit of available light, a supercharger housing sitting proudly right on top like a crown resting on a king, belts and pulleys visible just beneath the surface, cold air intake tubing curving cleanly toward the front fascia and the heat extractor vents. This is exactly the kind of engine bay that would make hardcore enthusiasts stop scrolling mid-feed and start imagining precisely what it would sound like on a cold winter morning startup. Exhaust note echoing loudly off nearby brick buildings, empty parking garages, and quiet residential streets alike. And that right there is the concept in its full glory. A speculative, fan-built vision of what a 2027 Pontiac Firebird could genuinely look like if the brand ever came back from the dead. Built purely from imagination, decades of design language, countless fan sketches online, and a whole lot of genuine respect for what Pontiac once represented proudly on American roads for generations of drivers who grew up chasing that exact silhouette on the highway. And if this concept got your imagination racing even for a single second while watching, that is exactly the goal here at Prime Car Culture, because we live for exploring both the real machines out on the road today, the classics that built this culture, and the dream machines that enthusiasts everywhere wish still existed. So if you genuinely enjoyed this speculative deep dive today, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for many more concept breakdowns and honest real-world car reviews coming very soon. Drop a comment down below telling us whether General Motors should seriously consider bringing this legendary nameplate back from the dead once and for all, and let us know which era of Firebird inspired this build the most. And we will see you in the very next video right here on Prime Car Culture, where the dream garage never closes and the imagination never stops rolling.